Welcome to the Startup Bootcamp course. I'm Chris Rowan, and I want to introduce very quickly the idea of this Tech Startup Bootcamp course. I've taken the live course and extracted the most interesting bits as a set of 38 videos ranging from 10 to 45 minutes each, totaling about 16 hours of material. And this includes 4 really interesting guest expert conversations from Barry Eggers, Jason Copeland, Beatrice Fu, and Gina Leahy, and is really organized around 10 topics. How you think about the strategy of startups, what's happening in deep tech and AI, how do you think about venture capital and venture funding, and how do you operationalize this? How do you work with customers? How do you develop products? What are the infrastructure elements you need for finance and control and administration? And how do you lead? How do you build a team? How do you establish a culture? How do you weather pitfalls and crises? And how do you really come and pull together a leadership model that allows you to not just succeed but thrive in building your startup? I think the core ideas are these, starting with the fundamental ingredients that you need to have for a tech startup. You need to have a clear vision about the need in a marketplace, a large marketplace, and understand what the footprint of your product needs to be within that. You need technical differentiation. You need to be able to articulate and deliver on what is better and different, that enables new use cases, that enables you to do what others can't do, that enables you to move more quickly and to move to places that are not well served yet among those needs. And you need domain knowledge. You need to understand what your customer's business is. What are the ways they buy? What are the problems that they're trying to solve? These form the core capabilities that set strategy. Within that, we're going to look more closely at 2 key areas, at AI and at deep tech, and what in particular is going on in those markets, and what are the unique capabilities you need to have to play there. But that strategy view then is enabled by investment, by raising capital, by talking to venture capital, by finding sources of funding that allow you to build a team to execute. And that execution is centered on serving a customer, first and most immediately in how to communicate with, to sell to, and to understand that customer. And then around that, the whole capability of building a product, of engineering a product, packaging a product, delivering a product, servicing a product. But in order to have that core execution capability, there's also fundamental infrastructure to put in place for your company. How do you plan? How do you control? How do you do finance and administration? How do you communicate? How do you recruit teams? How do you motivate those teams? And what kind of leadership do you have that guides this whole process and forms the fundamental core of resilience that allows you to weather the inevitable storms associated with doing a startup? So why should you do this course? And who is doing this? Well, my background is as a technologist and as an entrepreneur. I helped start MIPS. I built Tensilica. I built Babel Labs. I spent 15 years as a startup CEO. And those generated about $1.5 billion in exit value in current terms. And overall, I've become a popular speaker on technology and on the future of AI. I think you should take this course. You should listen to me for 16 hours if you really want a unified theory of startup success. If you want insights into markets and products and leadership, as well as war stories on what really happens, what are the problems you really face, what are some of the techniques you need to consider to get through those dark periods. So this is for any serious entrepreneur or tech leader who wants to understand that fascinating interaction between what's happening in fundamental technology and what's happening when you take that technology and turn it into something that really changes the life of a customer and which can create lasting value for the economy as a whole. So I hope you'll consider taking this course.